Well, we're joined now by former presidential spokesman and the author of those books, Femi Adesina. Good to see you. And it's always a delight. I love speaking with you because, yes. You know, the former vice president said that you were able to get into the other aspect of the president. But again, we'll get there. But volume 1 to 5.
Yes, those books were actually authored by a set of academics.
Okay.
Edited by Dr. Udu Yakubu. My own is one volume, which is Working with Buhari, Reflections of a Special Advisor on Media and Publicity.
Right.
I was going to ask, so if we can do this, so sort of summarize, what are the key things you think that we can easily, glean from those books that perhaps as Nigerians, we may not have known about the man, President Buhari?
Yes. There are a number of narratives about the former president which are not true, which are not correct. And as somebody who worked closely with him for 8 years, I felt the onus was on me to write to correct them. They will say he's a religious bigot. I didn't see it.
And you're a pastor.
I am. And you will be surprised that he chose me. And in fact, the first Christmas we spent together, that's December 2015. He was the one who called me and said, I know you are a church person. Go and spend Christmas with your family. And when you come back, me too, I will go on holiday. A bigot does not think like that. A bigot does not want to hear about any other religion. So I didn't see that religious bigotry. Then they also talk about nepotism. I rarely see it. Rather, I know what actuates him in taking decisions. For instance, when he removed Itai Peyon as DGDSS and replaced him with Lawal Dara, I asked him, you replaced the man from South-South. Why didn't you also replace him from South-South? He said, before he makes appointments, they set up committees, they set up panels, they searches for the best. Now, he says when they now submit those names, usually 3, if because of a man's religion or his ethnicity or his language or primordial things like that, he bypasses that man to go for number 2 or number 3, he said, Allah will ask me on the day of judgment. So, that's why he makes those appointments that people are saying, oh, lopsided, lopsided. But he just believes that when the best has been thrown up, give it to the best.
Even if it happens to...
Nigeria may not have got to that point yet. I think he was a bit ahead of his time.
Okay, that's quite interesting. Yeah. Some might want to say that maybe you writing this book is an attempt to make Buhari look good. Is that what it is? Considering, let me just throw this in, Tinubu today, right in the presence of the former president, said, look, we inherited huge liabilities from the Buhari administration. And of course,
not in those words today. No.
Well,
in those
and
words.
the unraveling issues of corruption under President Buhari.
Allegations.
Allegations.
Yes.
Yeah, speak to that.
There are allegations. Allegations are at best allegations until they are proven, and until somebody has a prima facie case established against him or her, and he has his day in court, and the court finds him guilty, he is presumed innocent. So all those things that are coming out are still allegations. But in Nigeria, the moment things are raised against you, you are condemned already.
But it came as, it comes as a surprise or shock to many Nigerians that the anti-corruption czar, that you would have all of these, coming out, though, he's no longer there. Yeah.
Yes.
Like it's a contradiction from what...
No, it is not, because as far as we are concerned, nothing has been proven against him. Nothing, absolutely nothing.
Is there a page or a chapter on the fight against corruption in any of those books?
Oh, yes, sure.
Right.
Almost everything. Like, when you lay your hands on that book, I'll recommend that you first read the preface. And in the preface, I try to say, this is what this book is about, and this is what it is not about. It is not about macroeconomy, it is not about microeconomy, it is not about monetary policy, it's not about foreign policy and all that. No, it's about Buhari from the human perspective.
Right.
That's what
President Buhari actually apologized, for hard decisions,
Yes.
taken during his tenure. Any particular one you can recall? And really, I mean, I know you alluded to it earlier. Before he takes these decisions, what are the steps he takes? I mean, does he call people like you, to say, look, these are the things that I plan to do, considering where Nigeria is, at this present time? Help us, walk us through,
Well, you have apparatus in government
Right.
through which a president can consult. You have the Federal Executive Council, which meets weekly. You have the Council of States, which meets periodically. You have meetings at different levels. There are security, you have the security meeting and all that. So there are different apparatus in government that helps a president come to a conclusion. Of course, every president also has what is called the kitchen cabinet.
Right.
In Nigeria, we call it cabal. But all over the world, there are kitchen cabinets. They are the ones president can call and say, what is your opinion on this thing?
So there was a concern that that cabal actually took over.
No, I remember it was in New York one year when that question came up, and President Buhari said, I was the one that stood for election. I was the one who went around the country. I was the one voted for. Did you see any member of the cabal standing for election?
Well, now that you're here, before you leave, perhaps maybe if I wasn't a journalist like yourself and I was outside there, I would have created a hashtag Tinubu is not Buhari. Because, looking at what has happened just a few days ago, a minister is on the suspension. Back during the 8 years of President Buhari, we didn't see any of such. It would have meant like complain all you can, say all you can. I don't give two hoots. I just want to run with this team till the very end.
And
You don't suspend for the sake of just suspending. If there was a reason to suspend, don't forget that 2 ministers were dropped under Buhari, Minister of Power, Minister of Agric. They were dropped entirely, not just suspended. And eventually one of them appeared before the anti-corruption agency. So Buhari does not fire for the sake of firing. But if you do deserve to be fired, you'll be fired, which happened with 2 ministers, as we saw.
does President Buhari have any regrets? I mean, having been so close to him, because he apologized, making it look like there were things
It's
he actually...
not the same thing as regrets.
Do you get a sense that, maybe during campaigns, for example, political leaders who seek political office underestimate the challenges, and when they get there, only to discover that, oh my, huge challenges, and it becomes overwhelming. Was it that way?
That does happen, particularly in the first term. In 2015, the incoming APC did not have the foggiest idea about what was happening in the country, particularly in the area of economy. It was when they got into the saddle that they saw that it was worse than they could have envisaged. That happens to most governments, particularly in their first term. And yes, it happened to the APC government.
Was that the case with President Buhari?
Yes, that's what I said.
Right.
He said it many times that...
what are particular aspects?
I remember when he said that after he got to office and he saw the state of the economy, he almost ran away. He didn't think it was so bad. He knew it was bad, but he didn't think it was so bad. He said he had to call the CBN governor and say, where's all the money? And that one said, we imported food. And he got to a point, President Buhari said, a dime of Nigerian money must not be spent on importing food again.
And did you think he left the country better than he met it?
A lot better, except for those who don't want to accept the truth. When he came in 2015, bombs were going off like firecrackers everywhere in the country. Northeast, northwest, north central, even Abuja. You had Yanya bombing 1, Yanya bombing 2, and so many things. But by the time he left 8 years later, you didn't hear of those bombings again. he had reduced them to almost zero. That is progress in that area. Then agriculture got a lot of attention under him. We were spending about, was it $2 billion or something to import rice? That has stopped completely. And we were self-sufficient in the production of rice. So a lot was done under Buhari.
What are the president's thoughts? I know President Tinubu there commended President Buhari for not interfering, whether it had to do with, you know, choosing a cabinet and what have you. But what are his thoughts? I believe you're still very close to him.
I think your
ears are very close to his heart. Yes. Fantastic. What are his thoughts about this government 7 months, 8 months down the road, especially on the issue of fuel subsidy removal, you know, and what have you? Some of the decisions taken.
You recall about 2 weeks ago when he said he was glad that fuel subsidy had been removed by President Tinubu, that jocularly, he said at least that has reduced the number of people coming to see him because fuel is now so dear. But he expressed it today at that event, saying he stays with the Tinubu administration and with the party. He said he remains committed to the APC. So that is it.
So he's still a member of the APC.
Oh,
he
yes,
didn't decide to jettison, you know, partisan politics.
No.
Very interesting book that you've, you know, put together, working with Buhari, Reflections of a Special Advisor. For this government, and of course the gentleman who's taken over from your position, what are the pitfalls that you would say must be avoided?
He is in close touch with me. We talk.
Oh. Yeah, for the benefit of...
We talk.
Yeah.
And don't forget that he was part of our media team in the other government. He was at the VP side. He was one of the members of the media team in the VP side. And today we are in touch.
Yeah, beyond that, looking back in the 8 years before the Tinubu administration, what, I mean, are the, with the benefit of hindsight, what are some of those mistakes that you would want to undo?
No, you always learn on whatever job you are doing. You always learn on it. There is nobody that does everything perfectly right at all times. But wisdom is being able to learn from what you didn't do well. And the next time out, you correct those things. There's nobody that does everything perfectly at all times.
Not even a President Buhari?
No, nobody. Nobody under the sun. Not even the president of the strongest countries in the world.
Well, it's a fine place for us to leave it.
Yeah.
We do hope we'll be seeing some autographed copies. And
absolutely.
Behind the scene, I'll be asking you where the monies will be going into, whether a fund to push for, for something. Femi Adesina, always a delight speaking with you here on Newsnight.
Thank you.